sweet.
See if we live from the YouTube end, and we will get
Yeah,
started.
We's live.
We's live. We'll be right
Yeah.
back.
Okay.
Free Sunday, that's meant for getting game passed down, and it's more than one way. But I can see the hate in their eyes, what they gon' say when you start to wake up and go and collect your prize. Pray patience with the family, hey, now do the work. Accountability hurts. He walking in his purpose, adds value to the work. She want a revolutionary, get on code necessary. Put in practice what we study to defeat the adversary. So what? Speak the truth, we need our own establishments. If you grow your own food, true black empowerment. Let the church say amen, hallelujah, thank the Lord. For my brothers that be on the same accord, let's score. I live by some Kofi. Life as a soldier, never mess with the rollers. I be smoking no okra. I'm dipping in folders, wake 'em up like some Folgers. Fake woke, we exposure. Knowledge born, yeah, I told you. You and your crew is scary. You move but moving barely. You shooting, don't be scary. Recruiting, then you bury. Revolutionary. Putting on for my people. Gatekeepers to leech ya. Meet you, greet you with heaters. Oh, we burst some profits. No work, no progress. Is it worth the profit to divert to false shit? Rapid fire, Cassius liar, cap suppliers. I don't like to rap about them. Watch those Judas with the black messiahs.
All right. Peace, and power. Welcome back to Lord. I got my thing on peace and power. Welcome back to the Warrior Scholar Podcast. That was our brothers from OBFC, our Black Fathers Committee. A powerful and inspiring group of men who are doing a lot of things down there in Arizona that's dealing with the youth, dealing with fatherhood, and so many other different things. Shout out to those brothers. Today's show is all about the women, right? This is a group discussion amongst all of these beautiful and intelligent Black women on the panel. I'm so excited. So let's just go down the line. Everybody, for the listening audience, could y'all please introduce yourselves and tell the people a little about who you are?
We starting with me? I'm next.
Yeah,
okay, great. That's fine. Peace and power, family. I am Sister Zuna from Philadelphia. I am a revolutionary mama, a community activist. I am a member of Team RBG. Just out here working towards liberation and sovereignty for our people.
All right.
Peace and love, y'all.
All right.
Go ahead,
Hello,
Jubilee.
I am Genevieve Powell. I am a poet. I'm a poet, and I am the owner of the Genovation Network, where we connect poetry with mental health, especially for our people. And yeah.
Stop being
Like,
shy.
yeah. She was like, I am a poet. Do try to show it. Yeah, know it. It takes
Right.
concentration for fresh communication.
And she's an
Okay, we
author.
got
That's right.
one up in there.
She's an
You know, I
Yeah.
love
author.
hip hop.
So
Yeah,
Hip hop.
she's
I
an
see. I got my
author.
fam. I got the fam up in the chat. What's up, good people? It's me, your homegirl Adosha Wright, aka Key Lolo, and I am a licensed cosmetologist and salon owner in Cleveland, Ohio, at the Reverence Design Team Hair Salon. I'm also an Afro hair activist. We have a podcast here, right here on YouTube, called The Dumbest Shit That People Say About Black Hair. And I also helped to write the cosmetology curriculum in the Gambia in partnership with Fatu Sane Gay. And I'm also a new grandma. So call me Big Mama if y'all want to. It's going to be all right.
Yeah. Mhm.
All right, my name is Winifred Summer, also known as the HR darling HR professional that you can talk to about what's going on in the workforce. I am all things work. I love talking about what's going on. I have a workforce blog. I have a book called the Toxic Job Playbook. It is a survival guide for the workforce. And yeah, so I'm just all about helping people out here because we all got to work, got to make a living. And I'm all about people having fulfilling careers.
All right.
hey yo, what up, good and wonderful people? So happy to be here amongst all the goodness. Y'all, the energy is already popping. Okay. So this is gonna be a good show. I'm so excited. My name is Dr. Ashley Wade. I'm a pharmacist, author. I'm also the owner of ADH Pharmacy Consulting, chief executive of Vasili Magazine, book club curator, the Griots podcast co-host, community and literacy advocate. I'm down here in Dallas, Texas, having a good time connecting with the people, building, tapping in with the local Black-owned businesses. And I'm here for the vibe. That's my whole thing. I'm excited. My energy is like, so I'm looking forward to tapping into with these ladies and just chopping it up.
All right. D, go ahead, Isa. Hold on, D.
Yeah.
Can you go ahead, D? Your camera went black.
Can you see me now?
No,
No, but we
pop out
can hear
and-
you.
Yeah, pop out and pop
Okay, I
back
can-
in.
Okay, because I can see all y'all. Hold on.
Yeah, just pop out and pop back in.
Okay.
Just leave and then come right back in. Let me see if I can. Well, no, you have to. Let me see.
Let me see.
Yeah. All right, go ahead, Isa, and then she'll come back in.
My
and then we got.
no problem. My name is Isata. I am the face behind a page called Dear Be Love Me. I prioritize minding my business, your business, the business of the books, and the business of everything else because I believe being nosy is an important step that we overlook to learning more about yourself and the world. I am an editor. This is the first time I'm saying that in a public setting, so yay me. I love to read books. I love to spread knowledge about books, and most of what I do on my page, outside of interviewing authors currently in the Black romance indie space, is reflect on books and how they affect my life and how they can impact and improve your life as well. I'm also a member of the Black Romance Book Club and currently going to be one of the content creators at Plots and Pours, which is a book event that's going to be happening in Houston this weekend, March 27th and March 28th.
All right, look at you. That's all right. That's all right. Go ahead, Drea, the Sunflower Poet. We can't hear you, sis. We can't hear you. And your mic is unmuted. Unmuted again. God, we can't hear you.
I can
And
hear.
you can hear?
I can hear.
Can y'all hear?
I can't.
Yeah, no, we can't hear. Go ahead and she'll pop back in. Go ahead, D.
No, I can't hear.
Yeah, go ahead, D. You can't hear? Yeah, she can't hear me. Hold on, let me see. Where's she at? Yeah, we can't hear you now. We can't hear you now. But we'll let them introduce themselves when they come back in. I'm gonna read out what a warrior scholar is, and then we'll get into the interview. So, few definitions. A warrior is from the old North French warrior. A warrior, a soldier, combative, one who wages war. Wages war, one who's warrior. A warrior, a person engaged in experience in warfare. Broadly, a person engaged.
You all see me?
A person engaged. Yeah, we can hear you. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna let you introduce yourself. A person engaged in experience in warfare. Broadly, a person engaged in some struggle or conflict. A scholar, a person who attends a school.
I can't hear anybody.
You can't hear us? You can't hear us? Hold on, y'all. Try to pop out and pop back in again, D. But a person is one who attends and studies as a teacher. A person who has done advanced studies in special fields. A learned person, a holder of scholarship. A scholar, a person who studies and studies a subject in great detail, especially at a university. My perspective of what a warrior scholar is, because this is a warrior scholar.
I don't hear anybody.
Hold on, I'm gonna text her in just a moment. From my perspective of what a warrior scholar is, my meaning of a warrior scholar is someone who is well studied and waging war against mistruth, pseudoisms, and willing to stand on the battlefield against against institutions and platforms that promote that. A warrior scholar is someone who is on a mission for the truth, for accurate and sound information. A warrior scholar is one who is disciplined, good character, morals, and willing to fight back against those who misuse information dangerously. That is what a warrior scholar is. And this is what this podcast is all about. And all of these women on a platform are warrior scholars in their own right. We'll try it again. D, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay. All right. All right.
I was like, I don't know if I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh shoot, I'm sorry.
But
probably because she's in the car, so she's probably not getting good reception. Because she's buffering.
Yeah, go ahead, D. Can you still hear us?
Okay. My name is Deandra. I can hear you. My name is Deandra. D. I am a
Is it me or is it y'all? Is she breaking up bad?
Yeah, she's buffering. It's probably because she's in the car.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
She's in the car, so she's not getting a good reception.
Yeah. You breaking up bad, D.
Let me see. Okay, let me.
Oh, okay.
Let me see. Hold on. Hold on.
All right. Well, let's get the interview started. We'll come back to. Are you better now, D? Yeah, she got bad reception. Where she at?
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you good.
Okay, so I was saying that my name is Deandra. I am a CNA of 20 plus years, a phlebotomy 9 years, MA 4. I'm currently in nursing school. I just wrote my first book called Faded Memories. It came December of last year. I have my own beauty salon shop, which I braid hair, and I teach people how to braid hair. And I also conducted my own braiding manual. I also does taxes, so I have my own software, and I teach people how to do taxes as well. That's just a few of the things that I do.
All right, I told you. Oh, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hold on, y'all. I done knocked my earplugs out. But I told y'all that we was gonna have a lineup of beautiful and intelligent women in their own right? So let's get into the first question, right? Because I want to be nosy like Isata say. Isata, what you say about being nosy?
It's very essential to learning about yourself in life.
That's right. All right. So my first question for you, beautiful women, are before the titles, right? Because y'all just gave us a whole line of things. So we have hairstylists, we have entrepreneurs, we have business owners, we have content creators, we have people in uh, human resource, we have people who are in the pharmacy business, we have poets on the panel, we have tax professionals, we have hairstylists, you know what I'm saying? We have book reviewers, we have a line of intelligent women. So before the titles, who are you? Who are you all? And how did these hold on. Before these titles, who are you and your core, and how did the women in your life shape you all's identity?
We're gonna just go around. I'll start.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, the titles that I hold would not exist if I wasn't a rebel at my core. I am a voice that will always speak up for justice. My voice comes from the women in my family who are on either side of the coin, right? Because I have rambunctious women, and very outspoken women, and then a few docile women who, their voices might not be as powerful and mighty, but they've taught me a lot of lessons in how to use my voice. And like my mother, I'm someone who seeks justice and fairness for all of us. So that's what the women have taught me and my family.
Okay. Hold on. For the next person answer, I want to give Drea an opportunity to introduce herself. So, Drea,
Can y'all
can
hear
you
me?
please?
Can y'all hear me though?
Yes,
Can
we can
Yes.
hear you.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, y'all. I was about to have a full meltdown. The internet is internet, but I appreciate this space, so I'm gonna do this real fast. But Dre the Sunflower Poet with the terrible internet connection. But I'm a spoken word artist. I have a few books, but I'm a pretty humble person. I don't talk about myself too much. But know yourself. I also have a clothing brand. It's called Know Yourself that I have with my partner. So I'm really glad to be on this platform with all these talented ladies, and gratitude to Kofi for allowing me to be on a part of it.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. So, do I need to reread the question, or everybody ready? Next
Well,
person.
I didn't hear it because I was having some issues again myself.
Okay, so the
So,
question was before
mm,
the titles, because
Yeah.
y'all all have a bunch of titles, right?
mhm.
Who are you at your core, and how did the women in your life shape that identity?
I'm gonna go next. I'll go ahead and go next.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead,
At
Dr.
my
Wade.
core, I'm a person who cares. I'm a very caring person. I've always been like that since, I can remember. Some of the early stories that people, like my uncles and my older family will say is that, they would see that I cared in a non-judgmental way early, like at 3 or 4. And I've always been in that role in some capacity in all the jobs that I've had. I'm also uh, concerned about like health. I've always been like in some sort of healing capacity. And it just over the years, it has grown into, pharmacy and other things that I've been able to dabble into. But the women who shaped me, I would say like my great aunties, my big mama, and what they mostly taught me was how to be regular, like regardless of what title, what area, whatever it is that we have, just be regular instead of, because a lot of times we get into like looking for all the airs with the titles and get stuck in that pseudo elitism. But, I think more than anything, they just taught me how to be regular, just, that roundaway type of energy. And I love that about me. And I love that about, all the amazing women, because as big as we are personality wise, rebel wise, creator wise, business wise, I think what makes us so like energetic is just, we can reach out and touch each other and be regular people. women.
For me, at my core, I am and have always been an observer. Um, my mom is the boisterous one. My grandma, who I was named after, is also very boisterous. Um, they are boisterous, but they don't pay as close attention to little details. So when I was younger, I would kind of be the recluse. People mistake me for quiet. I'm not quiet, I'm just watching. So I would pay attention to things and I started to discover patterns really quickly. Lucky for me, my mom loves literature, my grandparents love literature. So a book was in my face before I turned 2. So that helped with pattern recognizing. And so if I can recognize a pattern in a book, I can see a pattern in a person. If I can see the pattern in a person, I can empathize. That don't mean I have to like you. However, I understand that you are a person just like I'm a person. So I can understand where you're coming from. I can try to help as best as I can. But I do fear that it's my mom's fault that I'm nosy now because she made me an observer.
How cute.
I'll go
I
next.
guess. Oh well, go ahead. You can go ahead.
No worries. I guess for me, I wrote that me at my core, I feel like I'm an anomaly, like something that's not normal. Like every time I would tell somebody a story about how I was raised, I felt like that it was a rare experience for the other person. And I feel like every time I've interacted with a melanated woman, or even in my life or my bloodline, it's been that similar experience. You know, that overcoming that obstacle. It's women are resilient, incredibly resilient beings. And I think that sometimes, at least for me as an individual, I fail to give myself credit for that versus it being expected. So for me, I'm not average. I'm not normal, what I'm saying, or prototypical. And for me, it comes from, the history, reading the history of melanated women and knowing that that's been our experience. Like I'm reading Ida now. And I've been, reading a lot of different books about Assad and a lot of our ancestral heroes. And the storylines remain the same, like further you go back in history. And then I look at my mother, who, rest her soul, she was schizophrenic. She had 3 babies, myself included, and somehow managed to make it through. My grandmother, had 11 children, and rest her soul, she still managed to make it happen. So like those experiences, and reading history of melanated women, and then being on this platform with all of y'all, like continues to affirm that we are not small in any capacity, and neither am I. And at my core, that's why I try to have a big, I guess big energy about that, because you can't apologize for that.
No doubt.
Awesome.
And I can relate to her as well. Before all the titles, I was just um a young girl, just want to be loved. And then like my mom is my inspiration because she went like we witnessed her go through a lot. And at my age, I'm only 39, we did not have like toilets. So when I tell my story to people, they like, oh no, you too young for that. But they like, you never know what people goes through or went through. So I'm very, very humble. I teach my kids to be very, very humble and don't take stuff for granted, because it's rough. It's rough, but somehow, and I wear a lot of hats. I do a lot. Everybody call on me. They bring their problems to me, and it's like they never see me shut down. And when I do, they's like, we didn't know you had that going on. We didn't know that, because I try to wear it well. But mental health is real. And so I'm learning how to take a couple steps back, breathe, and just release a lot of stuff. Even they problem, like, oh no, y'all gonna have to handle it yourself. But I still try to be the center of my family, because at the end of the day, everybody needs somebody. So I can relate to everybody on this platform. And I thank you again, Coffee, for having me and to meet these other wonderful women.
No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. All
Okay,
right.
I'll go next. At my core, I'm going to say that I am just pure love. I am a diehard optimist. Just by choice. I live that deliberately. I live love and happiness and excellence deliberately. My influencers are definitely coming from my big mama, my Aunt Mary. I know for a fact that I'm probably her reincarnate or something like that. And my mom for sure. And then, of course, Fatu from Africa and Olive Benson and Cheryl Morrow. So
Batu.
these are the
Yes.
people, yeah, who help scope me and encourage me to stay planted at my core and being a loving person, a diehard optimist. The glass is just always full. I'm always happy. The water could be flowing. I'm like, you know what? At least the water is flowing and we could just put our toes and try to stop it, you know? So I'm just a
Mhm.
diehard optimist, but I'm a rebel now. I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? I will go off for my peoples, you know what I'm saying? So Kofi know that about me, but that's who I am at my core. I'm just, pure love, a diehard optimist, and I'm showing enough for the underdog because I've been bullied and picked on, so I'm used to it. So I'm here for it. So we got to do the right thing. So I'm vibing with everybody else in here. So yeah, so that's who I am.
All right. All right.
Okay, real quick, real quick. Mine's pretty short. At my core, I'm definitely a peacemaker. I'll say that. No matter what environment I'm planted in, because I tend to be in a lot of chaos, I am the person that people typically feel most comfortable with. I kind of put people at ease. I've been told that all throughout my life. Like I have this calm spirit about myself. No matter what's going on, I'm reliable, dependable. And I'm just a cool breeze. So Winifred actually means peace, and I definitely think I took on the meaning of my name. I credit my mother, my grandmother, my godmother. These are all women that empowered me to, just lean into my gentle nature and not see it as something that's a negative or to kind of make me feel like I need to be other than I am. So they definitely gave me that acceptance. And so that's my answer to that question.
All right. All right. You got something? Or
And my me as myself, at my core, I am that feeling you get when you listen to neo soul. I am that relaxed, more chill, laid back, that just here to just chill and vibe. We just vibe with a little bit of neo soul. That is me at my core. Most
okay.
definitely.
All
Mhm.
right. All right. All right. And stop being shy. You ain't shy. Stop
She
being
said she's
shy.
neo soul. She's chilling.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Please
I'm
like
neo
and show.
soul.
We
I'm
got
chill.
Yeah, we got quite a few people in the building watching. Please like and share the show. Please like and share the show and share the show with those who you think that may appreciate um, this show that we're putting on today. It's all about the women. You know what I'm saying? We need to start putting our women more toward the forefront. We need to start having more discussions and understanding, our women and so forth. So I'm very, very grateful that these people on the panel today. And let's get to the next question. So the next question is in you all Pacific field, what has your experience as a Black woman and what barriers you have had to break or navigate?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Go
So
ahead.
I was born in Freetown, Sierra Leone. I came to America when I was about 8 years old. Language has always been an interesting thing to me. My mom was a linguist. It's been interesting to me because it's similar and it's different. Coming to America, the country I was born in was colonized by the British, so we spoke English. However, English back home and English in the United States are very, very different things. Y'all have a lot of words for one thing, and it's confusing to me. However, the way I was taught to speak English was the formal way. And coming in school, being in school in general, teachers kind of berate you if you speak informally. However, school is not a formal setting, it's a learning setting. So a lot of us growing up, we were taught to speak formally or write formally, which is appropriate if you're writing a formal essay, anything like that. However, there's no account for personal flair. There's no account for bringing yourself as a person into creative writing. So as a reader my whole life, the older I got, the more I realized I was a bit elitist when it came to literature. Elitist in the sense that I would be the first one to correct if you said mine's versus mine, first one to want to say, oh, it's mine. It wasn't until a few years ago that I realized mine is not actually an incorrect word, and it is a word. However, we've been conditioned through education to believe you have to speak formally. Unfortunately for us, the language is called English. It's being used in the United States. It is seldom used formally here. So, in books, in the bookish space, especially in the indie space, people tend to be very overbearing and critical of Black indie authors specifically. You're not allowed to have one typo before they're knocking off a star or saying, I couldn't read this book, I had to put it down. It was too many typos. And the typo would literally be somebody speaking in the dialect of their region. So it's not a typo. You're just very vigilant in wanting to make them wrong. So I have actively been low key getting on people with statements that start with, perhaps it's not wrong. Perhaps you just have some self hatred to unpack. I've been very, very boisterous about the fact that there's one language that most people speak, and it's the language of humanity. Most of us don't have a grasp of the language as it was once used. You know English based on whatever you learned in school. I don't care if you have a PhD. I don't care what you have, because formal English is no longer in existence. It's dead. It's Old English. And Old English had slang. So I'm very big on very boisterously but politely telling people, you are wrong for telling this author they have grammar issues. A typo is different than a grammar issue. And perhaps you need to unpack where that's coming from before you write a whole 5-page thesis on why you're not reading this person's work when that person spent 2 years putting this together and you spent 2 minutes putting that review together. So that's me.
Powerful. Woo, you go, girl. You better English that.
Throw chakra engage. She said, I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna tell you.
All right.
I must say that in the field as a Black woman and as a poet, based on topic alone, Black women are very silenced. If we're not writing or reciting anything about sex, we are silenced. We can't talk about, social justice. We can't talk about being a Black woman at all. We can't talk about, being Black mothers. We can't, we're very silenced. We're very boxed in, very so boxed in. And it's ridiculous that we are treated this way. And it's from personal experience as of recently, past few months, actually, where a whole lot of barriers, not just from white, but from Black as well. I'm being told that I shouldn't write certain things. I shouldn't use different languages of African descent, which was very shocking. But it really shouldn't be shocking because they want us to be silenced. So being a poet, a Black woman poet, there's definitely some barriers, and I'm doing all I possibly can to break down those barriers, because what we need to talk about, especially now what's going on, those barriers need to be knocked down, and I'm doing my best to knock those barriers down as a Black woman and as a poet.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll say for me, and I appreciate her saying that about the poetry aspect. I can say on my part, it's relatable, just because I think that's just what people expect, an artist, when they look at you first, what to say versus actually hearing what you have to say. So, we definitely, it's no towing the line. You know what I'm saying? We definitely got to be more vocal about that. And I know for myself, I'm definitely working on that, overcoming that, self-conscious part of me that, might, be like, all right, well, they're going to look at me a certain way versus just, hey, I said it and that's it. But apart from that, I'm a military vet. I retired 20 years in the Air Force. And a lot of that experience, I appreciate that. I'm very humble about that. But I mean, I guess I'll say there were times when it was, I was the only in that room, and that is already a male dominated field. So, barrier, I guess, will be making it to 20 years in that type of environment. That's the barrier right there. So um, it was just like, just need more support, like needing more encouragement, like to be able to be vocal, regardless of what gender or whatever. But in addition to that, it's just like we still have a long way to go. Like we still have a long way to go. Not only just for women, in the military. Mind you, like military, women were just allowed to join the military like 1950. So it hadn't been that long, right? And add being a black woman on top of that, and that's a whole nother situation with segregation and everything else. And as I read through the history, it only continues to affirm that like a lot of the experience still needs to be had, and the spaces still need to be provided to be welcome. Like the conversations are being had as part of training, but it's not. It still got to be executed. Like you still got to reach the older minds, right? The older cats that's been around for a while. And, I'm really hopeful now that I'm retired that, I can continue to speak at least, for the veterans, and especially with compensation and all the others, especially for women, compensation for women and a lot of the reproductive issues. That's a whole nother conversation. But, the barrier was making it 20 years for me. So I'm incredibly grateful.
Appreciate that. I'm gonna be quiet. Let person go. Everybody know I like to talk, but it's y'all times. I'm trying to give y'all time to talk. I'm not talking a whole lot because I want to hear what y'all all have to say. And at the end, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna I'll kind of go in a little bit, but go ahead to the next person.
I wanted to follow that up as a military veteran. I could not make it to 20 years. I tried. I was in the Navy. I'm going to say something I feel like a lot of people want to say. I just did what I had to do to avoid jail time and being captured by the slave catchers. Because in these professional spaces, I have directly experienced like overt sexism. I've experienced people who would obviously say they are not racist. But when you step into a space as an intelligent Black woman, I think that some people feel like you're a threat to them. All the while you are not thinking about them. You came to do what you came to do. And so I have also been in those male-dominated spaces where I think they wanted me to shrink, and that's just not my energy. So I think that anytime I've been around other women in those spaces, especially women that I see do kind of cower back, I don't allow them to do that. And that's just how I feel like we need to support one another. I don't allow them to just shrink themselves in the face of whatever the adversity is. So.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's this Zuna, is that correct? That's your name,
Yes.
Zuna?
Zuna.
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback off of Zuna. As a salon owner, and I have a background as an outreach worker, and I can tell you from personal experience, of course, and also in working with women, that Black women are not very comfortable in their intelligence spaces. I think they come from spaces where they have had to, kind of downplay or, maybe just not even, openly admit that, in their own perspective spaces, in their own ways, that they do have something to bring to the table. So a barrier that I see is a space. My salon is a place where people can safely just fuck up. You're not going to be fired. You're not going to be ridiculed. You're protected in our space. You can mess up some hair because you're in a good space with professionals. You can be late. Your hair can be disheveled. You can even be a little high. I mean, it's life. And so, but we have to help people find their space so that they can get on that springboard and just bam, because they always, when they show up, they show out. It never fails. I've been working with women and men and the LGBT TQ community my entire career. And I feel like that barrier is not allowing them to have that space where they can make those mistakes, because that is where I don't know if you guys listen to Abraham Hicks, but she always talks about being in that vortex. It's in the doing that you're going to make those mistakes and you can learn. So the barrier is not allowing people to have those mistakes and to grow and to take them with you. I'm a chatty Cathy. I'm kind of ghetto, I'm out here. So people always want to put me out front. They'll invite me to stuff. But if I can't bring my crew, because I'm a hip hop head, so I'm like, my posse come quick because my posse got velocity. You know what I'm saying? So if I can't bring them with me, then no, I'm not coming, because anything can happen to me, right? So we need to make sure that those stylists that's coming after me, they need to be in those spaces and see those people, see the magic, unfold. They may have things to bring to the table that I couldn't, that I don't even know. So the barrier of not having that space where people can really mess up and really spring into their authentic selves and live it and keep messing up and live it and keep messing up, because you're never going to get this thing, whatever right is, even though that's my last name. You don't always get these things right. And so I like being in a position and a place to show that the barriers are just to be overcome. And that's where that love just comes in. I'm not going to pretend like, if your car broke down, your car broke down, but I got some gas money, I get you here. You know what I'm saying? So it's not to downplay what's going on, good, bad, or indifferent, but that we have to encourage our women to get in those spaces and really show up and show out. Because when I went to Africa, I walked. If somebody said, "What's the most important thing you learned when you came back from spending all that time with Fatu and the kids and the government and all this good stuff?" That excellence is normal. In our country, we definitely kind of, we, like she said, you got to get that A, and you got to get. Now, we're not knocking the merits. I'm not saying that, but it's the norm that when we do things, we just do them excellently, and you don't have to be ashamed of that. You don't have to explain that, and I get that all the time. Oh, you ain't black because your hair straightened out, or whatever, and I'm just like, that ain't got nothing to do. And these are the barriers that we have to overcome, and we lead by example. Not that we can't have a cry moment or get upset or get angry, but when you get angry, you're going to give away that power. So we don't want to give in to that, but we don't want to deny that we do have feelings, but yet continue to provide those spaces so that women and men and everybody in those spaces can, grow and get to that next level. So that's the barrier to me. And I feel like, as a loving person, I feel like God picked the right person to do this thing called, just let them shine, just let them shine.
Okay. Next person. And again, like I said, if you want to wait for the next question, that's fine. If you don't want to answer when the question and wait till another question, that's fine with you. But next person, if you want to. If not, we can move on. We still got I think 2 sisters that hadn't spoke, or 3.
I'll go ahead. Just being in the HR space, a lot of people tend to have an idea of what they feel like that is. There's a lot of negativity, I guess, that's out there in the world about human resources as a department. And so for me, I feel like it's just been important. It's part of my own personal mission to show people another side to the industry. It means a lot to me to be able to advocate for people, to be able to be a good listener, to resolve conflict. And not only that, but to pour into people in the workspace. I love asking people about their own personal interests or, their own personal goals. Like, I know I am in, I have my 9 to 5 where, I'm pretty much I have a shared mission with the organization, but I also do my own things on the side to where I can really help people get from where they are to understand what they really want and get to where they need to be. I think in every industry, we're responsible to a degree to help uplift people, uplift the generations after us, uplift other sisters, our neighbors. And so for me, that's just been my primary focus is how can I really help people? Everything from encouraging them to take care of themselves, maybe having them sit down and write their goals, connecting them to resources, and just treating people like humans. Because so often in different work environments, we're hearing about people who are being mistreated on various levels. And I got into HR because I wanted to be the type of person that I wish I had when I was going through my crazy seasons. So there are challenges in the HR space, but I take it as an opportunity to really just show up for my sisters.
No doubt. Anybody else?
I want to jump on the back of that for sure. Especially since my sis said excellence is normal. And in the industry where I work in, I'm a pharmacist. So shout out to all the healthcare girlies, on all levels, because our presence in a lot of these spaces set for healing matters for real because we show up in a whole different type of way. You can't quantify it. You can't quite put your hand on what we bring in those spaces. But, when we do touch people, it makes a difference in their life and in their healing and their growth. And they never forget the impact that we left. But for me, being a doctor, being a pharmacist in the space where I can make decisions, I have some authority, that's a huge barrier for other people. They're not used to a Black woman having A, authority, and B, having to respect it. What? You can deny something, a lot of people don't even like to be told what to do, but especially by a Black woman managing people and managing resources, and also holding a certain standard on, like, if I have a staff, I used to manage a store, and if I have staff, a standard on how you're gonna treat us and what you're not gonna do. I think a lot of times Black women in the professional space are torn between respectability politics and what you're not gonna do. And so, like, when we get into those spaces, I encourage, just based on my experience, to lean into that a little bit more, because we are protected. We don't have to worry about, okay, this job don't, or this person don't understand. People are just not going to understand. They're not going to get it, and they're always going to push back. And even in the space where I work now, it's a mail order situation. So luckily, I don't see the people that I work with as far as my teammates. But there was one time, because we're all remote, but there was one time where I did have to show my face, and you'd be surprised. Literally the next day, I got all these, why you do it like this, and why did you say this like that? And I'm like, it's to be expected. So I love the fact that we're smart. My sister said excellence is normal. How we handle people is on an excellent level. We're gonna play with you a little bit, but we also gonna lean into that what you're not gonna do when it's time for that to go forth. And then at the end of the day, with that barrier being out there, standing on business, but also keeping it professional and also using logic and just basic people skills. Shout out to all the women on here, basic people skills. So when it comes back, why'd you say this? Why'd you say that? It's justified, because we are, the emotions, we can manage our emotions. A lot of people are weird about Black women and their emotions. Y'all are emotional, yada, da, da, da. But 9 times out of 10, we standing on something and we're logical in the way we approach things. So being in this space, I stand up for myself, but also other women who are like, oh, I can tell she's Black. And they'll ask their questions, how'd you become a pharmacist? Just being open with my people and giving my people special treatment. Because folks do their own special treatment over there and don't nobody say that. But then when we do special, we should feel confident and comfortable giving our people special treatment, more time, those types of things, because that's how we kind of assert ourselves and our worth with each other. Like, sis, I don't see you, but I see you. You can come to me, you can ask me questions, because to everybody's point on here, how we show up in the world is what's the biggest impact that we bring forth, is how we show up. And it really can't be quantified. So thank y'all for tuning in to my TED Talk.
No doubt. Anybody else? Okay. We'll move on to the next question. Of creative, well, whether through your work or you all work, business or craft, how do you intentionally use your platforms to uplift, represent, and tell the truth about Black women?
I'll go with this one. I'll say like my face is already
Um,
representation. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't deny that. But I wake up like this. I go to sleep like this. Like I am the representation. And I think learning to embrace that, uh, made me a lot more vocal about it. A lot of my books I started to start mentioning and narrowing it towards Black women. Um, when before it was kind of like, I'm not sure about it, politically correct. And, I was in the military at the time. So a lot of my speech, was very restricted. And so now I'm retired. Now I can really, be vocal about a lot of these things. But yeah, just being intentional in my speech, how I present, be very welcoming person, my behavior, the things that I write. I'm no longer, filtering out the what we go through. I think recently I've been, on this journey of dealing, basically a lot of the fallout from fibroids, and I know that fibroids is a reproductive issue for a lot of melanated women, in my experience, and it's just one of those things where it's like, oh, we've been dealing with it, but no, like it's not okay. It's not okay, and so that to me, it's just a small piece of I just share my experiences and hopefully make those connections that way through my art, through my speech, through visuals.
Appreciate
It's
it.
powerful.
And that's kind of what I do too. I try to use my platform intentionally. I try to tell honest stories and challenging like stereotypes, whether it's through my work or my voice. I just aim to reflect the fullness of Black womanhood, not just the struggle, but the joy, innovation, and depth. So I always try to be honest. I remember when I was telling my kids about stuff that we, grew with. My sister, she was like, "Why did you tell them that?" I was like, "Because they need to know." So I don't sugarcoat. I be honest and just, I don't hide it.
Mm-hmm. Know that.
they're authentic. That's how I use my platform. I try to be authentic. If I'm authentic, people will definitely gravitate towards me because it's the most honest. Because you're being your whole self. You're not just being a piece of yourself. You're not just being your whole self. I try to be my whole self uh, when I'm using my platforms to inspire Black women specifically, because we are always told that we're not enough. We're always told we're not pretty enough. There's always those magazines out here that tell you you're not thin enough, you're not wearing the right colors. No, I'm going to be who I am wholeheartedly, often very authentic, and I'm gonna show Black women that hey, you can do it too, and there's nothing wrong with you. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you. You can love yourself, you can respect yourself, because I love and respect myself. You're not gonna, trust me if I don't love and respect myself and show you that I love and respect myself. So I just come at you my whole self. This is my whole self. Kofi
Take it
keep
or
talking
leave it.
about how I'm trying to be shy. No, I'm not. I'm just being myself.
Absolutely.
He be trying to put me on the spot. I'm just being myself. I'm
Mhm.
Okay.
naturally quiet
But
because I like to listen. I love to listen to,
but
especially when I'm listening to other Black women.
Yeah.
Chances are
and
I'm
people
probably the
will
youngest
people
one here. I like to listen.
Yeah.
and I
Go ahead.
found too to believe that if you just be yourself, people will like you better. They'll want to be around you. Like I don't
Yeah.
do the faking. I don't do fake people. Period. They even asked me like, I was like, I'm stressed out. I'm like, I'm depressed, and they was like, don't say that. I was like, well, it's the truth. And they was like, well, how you do it? I was like, shit, I take it with me. Depression, come on, we gotta go over here. We gotta go. I just don't sit on it because, I just be true to myself because the devil is busy, but God is busier. So I don't, I
Right.
don't say, well, I don't have this or this not bother me. It is, but I'm gonna take it with me. It's gotta come on. Let's go. And that's just how I do it. And sometimes it's
Mhm.
heavy, but I just it's okay. I learned how to just take it with me.
Hey, but don't stay there. You know what I mean?
No,
Take it
I
with
don't
you,
say
but put
that.
it somewhere else. You know, punt it, put it in the bed. You know, I'm with you though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say that my entire career was based off of a platform. Again, my background as an outreach worker, it fueled my career as a cosmetologist, and I'm kind of like am I saying her name right? Isata, am I saying it right?
Isata.
Isata, where I was in the ivory tower on the hair situation. And so it was during my work as an outreach worker that I realized that we all don't have the same skill sets, the same tools. We don't have access to all these things. And I just kind of felt like, damn, what's wrong with you, Kilo? Get it together. And so I decided to use my social work skills to open this hair salon for access in the spirit of what Isata is talking about, because sometimes we do not. I mean, I got the audacity or the mitigated goal, to be trying to be in the ivory tower coming from the projects, but I still have, admittingly, like, y'all don't know how to comb y'all hair. What's wrong with y'all? Y'all washing y'all hair like that ain't how Black people wash their hair, y'all doing this, And so I had what they say, check yourself before you riggedy wreck yourself. Check up from the neck up. Because to the own self, when you're raggedy, it's like your mother, when your breath stank.
You tearing me up so
Like,
bad.
just keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? And so I used that platform as an outreach worker to open that salon. And from that salon opening, I was able to connect with the people, galvanize the people, begin to change laws, get involved. And this stuff ain't free. You got to pay for some of this stuff. So I had to come off a lot of money, give up a lot of time, and to I forgot your name with the glasses on. To her point, you're gonna take some. This stuff ain't
Deandra.
easy. Deandra, yeah. You're gonna take some stuff with you because they're gonna kick your black off, every step of the way. But we like, ain't nothing between you and me but space and opportunity. At least that's where I'm from. So I will bring it, but I might be scared. I might be, what does Jack say, but I am what? Somebody. So I did what I had to do to carry the people through and to carry myself as well. So being able to change those laws, when I was in cosmetology school, I asked for a book and they got upset and they was like, the only book you gonna need is this book. And I'm like, well, what the hell is a school without a library? Excuse me, And they would call me the college girl, like, y'all making me feel bad for having y'all the one that said we had to have an education. That's a problem. What's going on? Make it make sense. So I said, you know what? I had the opportunity to put a library in the cosmetology school. So the Gay and Girl Skills Academy, located in Kotu, Gambia, come on through. The first cosmetology school in the world that has
Congratulations.
a fully functioning. This ain't no library with no little regular books. Okay, we got to give it up to Black Dot Cultural Center, Kofi Piesie, the Pseudo
Yes, I'm
Killers.
there.
And
Yes.
so many. The
Yes.
Cleveland
My
Public
books are in the
Library,
school.
Druid
Yep.
Hills Community Center, Dr. Willie Morrow's, Cheryl's. So many people have poured into this library, all the customers, that it's just like, it's amazing. It's truly amazing. And so when we talk about those barriers, again, just picking up off of, is it Deandra, right? Deandra, she said, you know what?
Deandra.
Deandra, yeah, we cannot pretend like this stuff isn't, bothering, and it doesn't come with depression and my rent due. My cell phone got turned off quite a few times, trying to get this stuff, but that's okay. I just had to text. Thank God I got what's that stuff? Apple, when you can still text if you don't pay your phone bill. But it's okay, it's okay. We're gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I did, with with those barriers. And again, I just make it a point to bring people with me. What's that African saying? If you want to go fast, go alone.
Go alone. If you
That's
want to
right. If
go
you want to go
far,
far,
you
come
go
on.
together.
That's
That's
what
right.
and that's
I
what we're
live
doing
by
on this
that.
platform. We're
Yes,
going
sir.
together. Ain't nobody, we ain't
Yes.
scared. We ain't never scared. I mean, we might be scared,
Mm-hmm.
but we're gonna still do what we have to do. So that's how I confront those barriers. And I see you up there. Let me get, I got right. Zuna, my little fellow rebel rouser. You know what we do. We like Eric B in the doorway. Okay, so that's my take on it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And shout out to Fatu Sangay and the Gay Journal Skills Academy down
Yes,
there.
there she is,
Yes.
guys. Fatu,
Yeah.
I call her my sister, love friend every
Yeah.
day. Most dynamic
Yeah.
woman. I see you, Juju.
Yeah, she in
I
here.
appreciate the space to talk and have these conversations. Thank you, Kofi, because a lot of times people don't understand what we go through for real and how we really alchemize. So in my profession, I deal with microaggressions on a regular, and it's from not just white people, white men, but a lot of different cultures. Because now, there are a lot of Indian women who project their microaggressions, all the things. Asian, I mean, they come in because they are taught that they're better, all these things. So what I do is I flip that on my platforms, and I really exercise my creativity. In my regular 9 to 5, whatever, I have to be very type A. We can't make mistakes. We're always correcting everybody's mistakes, but we have a very, very tight threshold for safety reasons. So on my platforms, I try to flex with my creativity, whether that's talking about books, elevating, our queens that maybe people don't want to research, or they just want to take on surface level. Right now I'm studying Ida B. Wells and really getting into the weeds. So just uplifting those stories and just, allowing them to put a battery pack in my back and learning from our 4 leaders that you can do more than one thing. And when a lot of people in my industry, they're just so locked into this one job, that's their whole identity. So I try to flip that on my off time. And, I do health testing in the community. I do book clubs. So I just try to really exercise my creativity, because in my profession says we should be type A, no creativity. We don't get a lot of wiggle room. And so I just try to balance that type A, very strict, follow these rules, these guidelines thing, that type of thing, and just flip it on its head in my personal time, in my creative space, and just fully exercise that. And then I try not to be too hard on myself. A lot of, creators that I got to post this day. And if I miss a post, I got to da-da-da-da-da. Or, it's Monday, I just try to be relaxed with myself. I post when I want to. I'm consistent, but I try to relieve myself from all the pressures of being in everybody's algorithm. And, what if I don't post for 2 weeks? Am I going to lose my, just kind of putting all that to the side and just allowing myself to be creative and get ideas and execute those ideas. So I just, appreciate the mindset of our leaders that have shown me, Angela Davis, Ella Baker, that have shown me also you can move around, in those creative spaces. If one doesn't work, cool, move to another and try a different one. And just instead of getting locked in to things that don't always serve us, you can move around different organizations, different groups. You can come over here and leave over here, and just be okay with expanding ourselves in those creative spaces.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. All right, I'll move on to the next question. What are some of the things? What are some? Let's see if I want to ask that question or not. Okay, yeah. What is something you all have learned from the woman before you that you feel responsible for passing down? Well, no, because we already kind of talked about that. So I'll move on to how important it is for Black women to be seen, not just presented, but fully recognized in a space like yours.
I'm gonna take this one. So with literature, I've learned that. So I knew this earlier. When I was in middle school and high school, I realized very quickly that literature generally in school um, is predominantly leaned toward the favor of women. The older I got, the more I realized it's not just women, it's specifically for white girls. Don't get me wrong, I was here for Ender's Game. Okay. I love a few of the books. I would read To Kill a Mockingbird a few times, still do. But a lot of those weren't catered. I do, it's my favorite. A lot of them weren't catered necessarily to young Black girls. The same way boys were left out, so were Black girls in general, because we didn't really see ourselves in positive lights in literature. Now that we're older and we're no longer passing those paperback books that we used to pass around in high school, I'm seeing a resurgence of people trying to find themselves in literature and see what they identify with. The thing is, there's so many different voices, right? There are authors who, like, there's one named Katora B or Kia Smith, or one I just recently discovered, Kira Cache, and they write about the importance of learning to love yourself before you're able, because it is romance kind of, before you're able to give love to somebody else, and discovering who you are as a young Black woman, which is something, no matter where you fall in the diaspora, a lot of us are taught to put others before us, help this person, do this. And it's not necessarily what we are told, it's what we're shown. We're taught to cook not because we need to feed ourselves, but because, oh, well, what if people need to eat? If guests are coming, it is polite to make sure there's food, but you need to make sure you do this. If you have siblings, you need to make sure they're taken care of. Not everyone needs to make sure everyone's covered, but no, you need to make sure everyone is taken care of. And we internalize that. And like Ashley was saying earlier, when she said, you know, I kind of beat myself up, I've been toying with this theory about people call it imposter syndrome. I heard a theory and I've been toying with it that Black women don't have imposter syndrome. I realize how that can sound harmful. Let me land though. A lot of Black women, the things that imposter syndrome do, where it's basically you questioning your ability to complete something, to do something, you feeling like you don't deserve it. It's one thing if it's just a feeling that manifested out of nothing. For a lot of Black women growing up, you are told that you shouldn't be in this space, you shouldn't wear these clothes, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't talk back, you need to stay in your place. We're told no so many times. And then when we're reading these books, that's the first time, for me anyway, it's the first time I can see that, oh my goodness, what do you mean Black women were a part of the Holocaust? Since when? I mean, I know that Black people, but I've never seen Black women. What do you mean that Black women can do things? Black women can own anything, like anything at all? Black women had bank accounts back when women in general could not have bank accounts? What do you mean? And there's this disconnect because nobody is showing you the things. And while they love to tell us, well, go read a book. What book do you want me to read? What if I don't like to read 48 Laws of Power? It's a little bit of shade. What if I don't want to read 48 Laws of Power? Then what? Well, you should read 48 Laws of Power. You'll learn a lot. You can also read Twilight of the Idols. That's the predecessor of 48 Laws of Power. Quiet as it's kept. But you can also read Coldest Winter Ever. Is it my personal favorite? No, absolutely not. However, there's a lot of details in there that you are going to resound with, that is going to allow you to impart that on somebody else. You can see a little Black girl, and a lot of times as Black women, sorry, I'm getting back to the point. As Black women, when we're older, and I find it with myself, sometimes I got to check myself. We look at our younger girls and our younger women, and we tell them, oh, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. You're too young. And we were, but remember that you were too young as well. You were too young to be talking to that man that was 26 and you were 16. You were too young to be skipping class. You were too young to be putting on the red lipstick and the red nails, even though it was cute, and it still is. It shouldn't have sexualized you at all. But you were too young as well. And you did not like it when they called you fast, when they told you you didn't deserve, when they told you you just gonna end up pregnant and not doing nothing with your life. So imagine you didn't like that growing up. You looked at the next little girl who you may or may not have been kin to and told her the very same thing. And then wonder why they have an attitude, wonder why they don't listen to you. Instead of you saying, look, I understand that you're going through this right now and you can feel how you feel. I read this book and it helped me a lot. A lot of the time, our delivery sucks. Mine specifically, because I tend to be blunt sometimes. Your delivery can suck. But there's books that you can look up. You can talk to me. If you have a young teenager who you like, I don't know what to tell them, I could give you a book to let the girl read so she can feel seen enough to know how to have these conversations. But in this space that I'm in, the space of literature, we're so focused on the classics, even now that we're getting into the Audre Lordes or I don't want to say a Tanana Reeve dude. Now that we're getting into these spaces, we're still not relating it to ourselves. We're just reading it and closing it. You can empathize with the young girls in these books, Octavia Butler. You can empathize with the youngness. You can remember yourself being told, "Oh, you're so mature for your age." And now at your big age, you look back and you say, "I was dumb as hell. That man was taking advantage of me." That little baby who you're talking to does not relate to you because they think you're trying to play them when you say he's lying. Because for them, what you're saying is, "Oh, you're not mature at all. You're just a baby." They are, but remember how you would have received that. Give them a book instead so they can see how it plays out. Then y'all can talk about it. So for me, I think the biggest impact and most important is I want Black women to see themselves as who they were as little Black girls, honor that little Black girl, and learn how to talk to our future little Black girls so we're not having this friction in between each other. It's not that deep. Give them a book, learn how to speak to them. Okay, I got it out.
I don't even know how you follow that.
I'm over here taking notes. What's that book before? Before the art of war.
Yeah.
Oh, Twilight of the Idols by Friedrich Nietzsche. It's the same as 48 Laws of Power. It's the
Repeat that
predecessor.
again. Say it one more time.
It's Twilight of the Idols by Friedrich Nietzsche.
I might have to read that. We were just talking about the 48.
Everybody was taking notes. We all got our little notebooks. We like classes.
Yeah,
Tom said I'm not allowed
we
to
need
talk
this
about
reading
that
list.
book
We
with
need
him
this
anymore.
show's reading list.
Can you repeat the question again, Coy?
Okay.
Kofi?
Okay. How important it is for Black women to be seen, not just presented, but fully recognized in a space like yours. I mean, we go on to the next question. If y'all don't want to follow up after icing, we can go on to the next question.
Yeah, I'll just say this as a cosmetologist. This one is this. It gets real. It gets heated. It gets real hot. Because of hair. Hair is one of those spaces that people try to make it into like this monolith, or they try to define natural like according to skin and things of that nature. And so I think that as a cosmetologist, our role is to use our spaces to help navigate people into their own space and help them with that. That's why we have the podcast, because some of the dis and misinformation, it trickles over into the professional world, and it's all over the place. And so I just think it's really important for us as licensed professionals to really help, get a hold of that conversation and navigate people in the right direction, not only using the right products, right tools, and right techniques, but I'm still going to piggyback off of Aishita and use a book. So, yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
All right.
I think it's important for us to be comfortable being seen, because a lot of us we say we're more comfortable being in the background. I hear that a lot in different spaces that I'm in. People have a lot of skill. They have a lot of like personality, but then when the rubber meets the road, some of my peers are like, well, I'm comfortable being in the back. I ain't got to be in the front. And I think part of that is it comes with the inherent humility that we have. We're fine being in the back. We're fine doing the work without being in the front. And I think part of that is just us decolonizing that piece of staying in your lane, in your place. Because Carter G. Woodson said, once they get in your head, you don't have to ask where the back door is, to go out the back door. So I think just decolonizing that piece where we have to be in the back, or we're more comfortable being in the back, and taking those necessary steps. Because if you're already a shy person or introverted person, coming out in the front ain't gonna be the first thing that you choose. But taking those steps, and when opportunities come to be on a panel or whatever, be comfortable with taking a chance on yourself. And, to my friend's point of making a mistake, if you fumble or if you stutter or whatever, being okay with that part of your growth into being more comfortable being front facing, because, people judge, people, always got something to say. But as long as you're comfortable and you're growing as a Black woman into that space of, hey, I'm in the front, because, we used to, we fight about whether it was cool being on the back of the bus or not, but that's stuck in our head. We're comfortable being on the back or being in the back, but just, giving ourselves that love and that space to say, you know what, they talking about come to the front. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that and take that opportunity and work on that, building the skill necessary to, be successful in those spaces when you do come to the front. And then also relying on your own platforms to be in the front. A lot of times in these social circles and organizations, you have to wait on somebody to elevate you. That's how we end up subservient,
Yeah.
Waiting on somebody else to say, hey, you can be the leader of this. Hey, you can spearhead this, and just creating spaces or getting with people who honor us so that we can come, take over or lead for real and be comfortable being in the front. Good. That was an excellent question, Kofi, because I think, there's still a long way we have to go decolonizing that mindset of, they don't want to see me, or my hair ain't done. I ain't got a retwist. I ain't got a whatever. And standing in your personality, standing in your light, standing in your naturally given talent, and letting that lead you to, expand in your role and in your presentation in the front.
And sis, that ain't what I did now. That's not what I did. When I made you chief executive, I'm just saying, I just seen something in you. She's the chief executive of my our CLA magazine. We also have Isata, who's on the platform. She has been with us for the entire year and a half. We have Winifred Summer, who has been with us since the very beginning. And we have Drea and Juvenile, who has been on the last 3 issues of the CLA magazine. So, but that ain't what I did. I see intelligent women, and I'm for women. I'm for women. I'm for, we have to, because we have been conditioned that God is above man and man is above woman. The man is the head of the household. This is a man's world. So we have been teaching our children, our men and our children, our males in Pacific, to be male chauvinists, that we are superior over the women. So then when we go back to the religious piece again, you say God is above man and then man is above woman. So now you're validating that, but not understanding that that was written from a Eurocentric standpoint, you know what I'm saying? And we're beginning to treat our women like our enemies have treated us for centuries, have our oppositions, you know what I'm saying? The real oppositions, the Arabs, the Europeans, I'm not giving nobody a pass, who have mistreated us and then re-educated us and conditioned us to say that we are superior. So in certain places, you tell people they supposed to be quiet. Woman's supposed to be quiet. She ain't supposed to be teaching. But that's a contradiction. She is the first teacher. You know what I'm saying? So once we understand who we are and where we come from, and in our culture, you know what I'm saying, we put our women on a pedestal because she births the nations. She births the communities, right? So we understand that in our community, but when we're being conditioned through their education system, when we're being conditioned through their religious philosophies and theology, you know what I'm saying, then we become those the very people that we hate, and we begin to treat our women this very same way that our enemies who hate our guts how we treat our women. We treat our women in those horrendous ways, you know what I'm saying, instead of putting them out toward the forefront. And then me observing and looking, and I'll move on, let somebody else answer the question. I've noticed that a lot of times these men that ain't got nothing going on for themselves, you know what I'm saying, they may have self-doubt, you know what I'm saying, they may not be well motivated, they may not be inspired, and then when they get with that woman, you know what I'm saying, they get with that woman, when they get with that knowledge, that woman gives them what they need to build that man up, you know what I'm saying? And everybody has a role. We are equal. The man is not superior to the woman. We are equal. We both have important roles that we have to play. And that's why I love women so much, because I know y'all value. I know y'all worth. You know what I'm saying? And we always say, well, the man, if it wasn't for the man, yeah, but the woman has the tools to go through 9 months of gestation, you know, to birth, to bring life into this world. Not you. You can pass the seed off, but the woman has the equipment to nourish and go through that process of creating something, you know what I'm saying, a living organism. You see what I'm saying? So she is the one that births the nations. She is the one that births the communities. She is the first teacher on the planet. She teaches you how to identify, that's your father, that's the male. This is his role over here. This is how you know. You're not supposed to do that. This is what a mother is supposed to do. This is how you're supposed to conduct yourself. This is the elder. You respect the elder, not the older. I want to get that straight. The elder, not the older, because there's a difference between the two. So I'm appreciating this conversation. I've been trying to.
No, it's good. No, it's when you think about the title. Because when you think about the title, Queens Who Shape Us. I mean, that was a good diatribe about the reality of, you know, being an African descending woman, man. You know, we need to hear this over and over. We can't hear it enough. We can't, you know, we can't downplay it, which is what we're all saying in all of the questions, you know, that you're asking us. There's a book called Imperial Leather, written by Annie McClintock, and she has a whole chapter on everything that Kofi just said. And I think, well, I feel that all of us on this platform, you know, we are the embodiment, you know, of our ancestors, you know, and for our, you know, our children and our nieces and nephews and our co-workers and everybody to continue to shape, because George Benson, everything, you know, must change. And going over and to the Gambia and working alongside Fatu and seeing the woman be that equal in that space, you know, compared to how things are in America. And I'm not trying to romanticize Africa. They got issues like everybody else. I'm just talking about the exchange between Fatu and her husband, the school, you know, administrators and the faculty, the female faculty, the male faculties, the equalness, the effort, the deliberate, the overt effort of that equality. And again, that excellence, man, that shit was dynamite. It was just dynamite. And coming back home, it was in my home, my grandmother, it was there. But to Ishtar's point, you know, we are told that that's not quite the order. But per what Kofi is saying, well, you know, they was wrong. So no, I think that's good what you just said. I loved it. Yeah. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'm trying to be quiet because it's y'all time. So I like to talk. I like to talk. So anybody else want to answer? Or do we want to go on to the next question? We'll go on to the next question. I ain't gonna hold y'all up too much longer. I just got two more questions, and this is one I definitely want to know. As women, Black women, is that who pours into others, clients, audience, community? What does healing, self-care, and balance look like for you all in real life?
Talking to God.
Go ahead.
Yeah, talking to God is that's my self-care. Sorry, it's all right. Talking to God every morning and every night. Writing in a journal. Reading, that's my self-care. That's my healing. That's what heals me. Talking to God is number one for me, because if it weren't for God, I would not be here. If it weren't for God, my eyes would not open. So yes, talking to God, definitely number one.
Okay.
Yes, I agree. God is number one. And to me, also setting boundaries, making time for rest, and also honoring your own needs without being guilty, and just pouring into yourself the same way we pour into other people through reflection, either the community, creativities, and just a moment of just being still. Sometimes we move, we don't get a chance to just rest. So I mean, this is one for me. Rest.
Okay.
The rest ain't only for you, sis. We all
Well,
need rest.
I mean, I don't know, but I know I needed I'm tired now, and that's why y'all may see me keep
Yes.
moving my head because I'm trying to. They in a championship game, and so I'm keep moving my head because I'm trying to watch the game, and then I'm trying to not miss nothing over here.
Because we got to be in 5 places at one time.
Yeah. Look, on top of that, been studying. Got a test tomorrow, so I'm I'm just all over the place. So for me, I know it's rich, but I'm sure it is for you guys too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, what
Okay.
for me, like I feel like just the it's I think it's like pausing, like the resting, and then also like doing a lot of internal work, like a lot of the shadow work. Like I think it's a lot of things. Like I just turned 40, but I know it's like a lot of things that I need to heal, like deep down, like inner child wise. You know what I mean? And when I get an opportunity through meditation, through writing, you know what I'm saying, through these type of conversations, like I'm always doing a self-reflection and trying to find different ways where like I can be better to meet. Because now I recognize the behavior. Now I know, like when I sit down and rest, it's like, man, I'm tired, my feet hurt, whatever. No, I can't do that. Saying no, you know what I'm saying? Or letting people know, hey, this ain't happening for me. Like saying no has probably been the top practice that I try to work on. Because at heart, I'm a giver, I'm an empath, you know what I'm saying? It's always gonna be how we get to yes before it's ever a no. And I'm working on having that same energy for myself. Like I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. So but most of the time, like if people come to me and say, hey Drea, like, help me with this, then man, I'm gonna find a way. You know what I mean? Hell or high water. And so I'm definitely working on keeping that same energy for myself.
Okay.
And don't feel guilty about the nose.
It takes unlearning, but you deserve to be
Mm-hmm.
told yes in order for somebody else to hear that no.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I will have to say because I have to step out in a moment. Healing and balance is an ongoing journey for me. Um, I have recently, in the last year or two, allowed myself to cry a little bit. Guys. Ooh. I do operate under the quote of "Trick Daddy raised me, I can't be out here crying." Um, However, I've been told that I can't call myself a thug because the reason why the crime rates are high during the summer is because the people who we call thugs have high anxiety. They're afraid something's going to happen to them, which is why they react in the way that they do. So every time you call yourself a thug, you are claiming that you have anxiety. You should stop. And I was like, that was my therapist. I said, that was rude. That was uncalled for, but you're right. So now what I've been practicing doing is listening to my friends because now I say things out loud as I feel them, as opposed to just acting like it doesn't exist and shoving it under the rug. I say it out loud to myself, but sometimes I'm a little bit off kilter, so I say it in front of my friends. It's embarrassing, but I want to say it in a place that's a safe space so that when they hear it, they're like, wait, nah, because what did you say? So for me, healing and balance looks like community with my friends, who are like my sisters. Reading a book. Now it's a stressful situation if you look at me because I'm crying, I'm throwing things, I'm screaming, but very peaceful, very peaceful. And learning to move more is helping a whole lot. So that's my version of healing and balance. Oh, but I do have to head out. Thank you, ladies, for talking and being community with me. Thank you, Kofi, for hosting me. And I'll see y'all around. I'll be
Hey.
listening though.
Thank you. We
Yes,
appreciate
All
thank
right.
you.
your
All right.
your
Yeah.
My
words.
Hey, peace,
pleasure.
peace.
She's
Yeah, I
Bye.
appreciate it.
yeah, she's
I
very
appreciate
mighty,
it.
very mighty, very
Yeah,
mighty.
yeah.
Um,
I,
I,
yeah.
I'll piggyback off of what she said. When it comes to what does balance look like, my dad, he was the coolest, and he would say cool things. And one of the cool things that he said was, when you make a lot of deposits in the bank of life, feel free to make some withdrawals. And I think that
Okay.
a lot of times we don't want to withdraw using our social credit. We want to get that score. We want to get that 800. We want to buy a house, and all this was generational wealth. But we forget, come on now, black people, we got some good credit. And I would say, for me, for my balance, I'll be cashing it in. I'm going to get that. Can I wear that hat? So no. I got a little outfit to match that. Kofi. I get all my credit out of Kofi. I deposit a lot in the Kofi. So when I call Kofi and say, Kofi, what this mean? Kofi, oh, Sister Ladosha. To me, balance is, you make those deposits. Don't forget that, we're human, and people, I ask the question whenever we someone comes in, we work, we have like team meetings or whatever, and I ask the question and say, finish the sentence, and people genuinely want to see you, and they come up with the strangest things, like, oh, so you fall, and that kind of negative stuff. But what I've learned, per my father, when you make a lot of deposits, people genuinely, they want to see you succeed. They don't want to see you fail. In spite of all what we hear, everybody wants to get behind. Remember when Ladosha just, remember when, doctor, remember when Asali,
Yes.
people want to they don't want to see you fail. And I think we have to stay in that space instead of that crabs in the bucket, because crabs don't live in a bucket. Have you ever seen a crab in the ocean for real? They don't pull things. Come on now, they don't really do
Right.
that. So we have to stop saying that. When you got that social credit, you deposited. So to add balance in your life, withdraw. If your son wants to buy you a car, hey, thanks. Accept it. I know when my son bought me a car, I was like, does your father know about this?
Mhm.
But we gotta make withdrawals. So let's do that. Everybody that's watching, make those withdrawals, and like Ishta said, don't be afraid. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
So I appreciate all the love that we give each other as Black women. And that is a driver for what I understand to be my balance, because part of like the healing balance piece for me is like honoring and going where the love is. Once I learned to do that, the world changed for me, because a lot of times we try to
Yes.
like make ourselves palatable for other people so that they can like us or they can but go where the love already is. You don't have to force it. And if you have to force it, then it's not balanced. That's not a place where you need to be in right now. And
Mhm.
also like raising our standards, because a lot of times we end up in things, friendships, situationships, whatever, because our own standards are low. We got the
Mhm.
best advice for everybody else, but for our own self, we need
Mhm.
to like modulate what we'll accept from people. And then also apart from going into the spaces where you're welcome, shout out to Kofi always kept it 100. He's always keeping it 100 as far as honoring women. I'm definitely going in that space, but also like other spaces that don't honor you, and other people, places, things that don't honor you, let that go. As women, especially Black women, we do want to see people win, but a lot of times folks be covert in how they want you to win. For sure, they really, some people really do, but there are a lot of people that don't. They want to leech off your energy, they want to leech off your creativity without actually depositing anything. So, once we get to the place in our journeys where we realize for real that we're the prize, instead of just saying, oh, I'm the prize, I'm the prize, you have to embody that, then you will understand how to go with the flow. That's probably been another gem that one of my spiritual leaders deposited: go with the flow. So when the flow is smooth, that's where you need to be. Flow get kind of turbulent, you may need to exit over here to the stage left. And it's not that we're trying to lead people or whatever, but we just have to honor ourselves as gods and goddesses and get into the places and spaces that we can honor ourselves, and then allow other people to honor us. And just like you said, when people want to bless you and people really want to show you genuine love, accept that and let it be what it is, instead of, well, I really didn't deserve it. Well, it was somebody else. It was really somebody else. No, if somebody's bringing you flowers, go ahead and accept them, because we deserve it. But we deal in that, overthinking capacity where we're like, do we? Okay, I do, but do I? And just resonating and letting that goodness sit with us because we are good as hell. Nobody can do it like us. They've been trying to recreate us. They want our lips, our skin. I was telling somebody earlier today, it don't matter if you lay in that tanning bed for 2 hours, you're not gonna be brown. You want to be brown so
Tell
bad,
it.
real bad, but you're
I
not
wasn't
gonna.
ready for that.
You don't even know how to embody brownness. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's up to us, just to wrap that up, to understand what it means to like embody ourselves, our full complete self, and then elevate ourselves and our voices to the point where we don't have to command respect. We just get it because our aura, we worked on our aura, we accepted our journey, we're building into ourselves, and just, stay on that spectrum of growth. One thing that like I like that Kofi said that separates the elders from the elders. Sometimes the elders feel like they know everything. And the elders are like, I'm trying to teach. I'm still learning and I'm teaching. And so just keeping that, in the forefront, and then letting that guide our our journey and our quest for balance and peace and harmony and love, because we deserve all those things. When our energy is right and we're in the right place at the right time, they will come. Ashe.
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 I was going to say real
Ashe
quick,
indeed.
for me, the importance of being still. I think as women, especially Black women, there's so many demands that are being placed on us, so many different people that we are helping, supporting, serving, and to just be able to be still and kind of check in with self, and not feel obligated to have to over explain ourselves. I think that sometimes when we take moments to ourselves to do whatever it is we want to do, need to do, or if we're just resting, there seems to be like this question of, well, what are you doing that you can't do this right now? Or why not? And I think for me, it's important and it helps me to kind of center myself to just kind of shut everything down, whether it's, putting the phone down, just being at peace, being still. And if it's not an emergency, then I'm not going to respond like it's an emergency, basically. And being able to prioritize myself so that when I do show up, I can show up at my best.
Okay. What about you, Queen Zuna?
Okay. For me, I think more so talking about the healing aspect, it looks like gathering the stories of the mothers that came before me. Because I feel like when we understand them, we can understand ourselves better, and make that a part of our healing journeys. Um, Basically, learning through the trials and the obstacles that they've overcome, right, will help you to heal the unseen. It can help to heal those generations before, because we all have been the eggs in a womb, right, from every woman before us. And so I think that the things that we feel, that sometimes feel innate to us, that's from them. The things that we feel, as somebody would call our intuition, is from that energy that's from them. And so I use that in my healing journey. And self-care for me, and this is, I think, echoing some of my sisters here. Self-care for me is to be in a safe space with my sisters, to be able to say the things that I need to say, that I know that they will understand, right? I don't have to over explain it. I don't have to water it down. It's a space of us relating to each other, keeping each other accountable. And I think that that's just the maintenance of restoring our mind, body, and soul. So, I definitely am grateful for those sacred spaces with my sisters.
No doubt, no doubt. All right. Well, this is my final question I'm gonna ask, and because I know y'all got things to do. First, I'm gonna rattle off some names, some women that have inspired me, and I've have drawn inspiration from. Um, and they so Dr. Francis Quells Wilson, Sabufu Some, Afina Shakur, Asada Shakur, Madam C.J. Walker, Annie Turbo Malone, Harriet Tubman, Francis Lou, Fannie Lou Hamer, right? And I'm saying those names are, we talk about these women and we talk about the sacrifices they made. We talk about um the fearlessness that they had. We talk about the intellect that they had. We talk about the love that they have for their community, and so forth, right? And I'm naming these names off because a lot of those have transitioned into what we call the Agungun, the ancestral realm, and they made a name for themselves and they left a legacy for themselves, right? And in a space where I come from, we always talk about standing on the shoulders of our ancestors, right? And continuing the work that they have done. We're continuing their works, right? Standing on the shoulders. So when I'm naming those people, a lot of y'all put me in the mind of those women, and y'all are all creating a legacy for yourselves, right? And and I want y'all to just think about that for a minute. It's okay to rattle off the things that you do. I know we talk about, we humble and we this and that. Y'all are great. Y'all are great at what y'all doing. Y'all are doing a lot of different things. And a lot of times our Black women are getting looked for the greatness and the things that they doing. And even some of the women that I've named, we don't hear about them as much, the contributions and the sacrifices that they made. And y'all are doing the same thing. Y'all are making contributions. I don't know if y'all are aware that y'all are making contributions with the things that y'all are doing right now. So y'all are creating a legacy, and when y'all gone, there's gonna be people talking about Dr. Ashley Wade. There's gonna be people talking about DeAndra and Juvenile and Isata and my sister Queen Zuna and my sister Winifred Summer, because y'all are making major contributions to the world right now. Y'all may think it's small, but y'all are making an impact. Y'all are inspiring people. Y'all are motivating people right now. And even with people being introduced to y'all right now, as y'all introduce yourselves and y'all telling y'all stories and, and y'all sharing stuff right now, people, you know what I'm saying, I know are going to love this. The people that's in the chat right now, the people that's going to see this in the archive is going to relate, you know what I'm saying, and start following you and start seeing some of the things that y'all going to continue to do as y'all continue to sell and be great. So with the last question I want to ask is, I call it defining legacy, because y'all are creating a legacy, right? When it's all said and done, how do you all want y'all works and y'all names to be impacted in the story of Black women in history? Come on now, y'all over there saying all
I'm
that
still, I'm
was
still receiving what you said before, Kofi. So I don't know. I'm just saying, we appreciate you for what you be going off. So I'm speechless. Okay. I'm receiving it first. Then we can talk about legacy. But we appreciate you too, brother. Like, for
You're
real.
so adorable, Drea. Drea said, I need a minute.
I'll take a stab at it.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Go ahead.
When I think of legacy, I talk with Cheryl. She's there. She is SD Monitor Business Journal, and
Shout out to Cheryl.
one of the things that the Hair Oracle always, reminds me of is that when it comes to this legacy and our impact, because now that I'm a big mama now, and my granddaughter, she can't say it. She still calls me "Hey baby." I can't wait for her to call me big mama. She says, "Hey baby," but I think about all of the young ladies that I work with and the men, at the salon. I've just come across so many magnificent people, and when I think about a legacy, I think about like Cheryl said, our ancestors already did the heavy lifting. I mean, none of us in here, we've never picked any cotton, you know. Um, I don't think anybody here knows anything about not being able to drink out of a certain water fountain. I mean, we don't even want to drink out of water fountains. You know, we can do that now.
Mhm.
Um, Women, you know, we could just do so we could drive back and forth on the freeway by ourselves. I remember driving across the freeway and my mother was just petrified. And I was just like, well, why is she carrying on like that? I didn't know about the Green Book, you know. I didn't know that there was a time when no women you could not do that, and she just couldn't fathom that I could just freely go back and forth across the freeway and nothing happened, you know. And so for that legacy, I would like to make sure that my granddaughter and all of the people who are watching this know that our ancestors truly did do the heavy lifting. And as we go forth and with our lifting and everything, that we don't forget what they did. And we just got to take it, you know, to the next level. And as my mama used to say, because I was such a dramatic, you know, like a crybaby. Everything was just, you know, I would just roll out on the floor and she would say, "Oh, Ladosha, you're just so melodramatic." And I used to cry back, "I'm not in the dramatics." Y'all might be too young to know who the dramatics
Oh,
are,
I
but
know, yeah, I know who the dramatics are.
I used to, you know, so I'm
Yeah,
not in the dramatics.
definitely.
Like, what
Yeah,
you
not
saying,
too
Mom?
far removed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That and to that she would say, because ain't shit that hard, you know. And so it is really only as hard as we make it, and that on that journey of legacy, have fun. We must have fun along the way, and not forget to smell the roses and all the beauty.
Mm,
It's so much
mm,
beauty, so much humor
yes.
around us, and I think that that's the legacy that I want to make sure that we leave behind. That the heavy lifting was done, love and beauty is everywhere, and don't forget, please, have fun, laugh, you know, fart. My granddaughter says, "I fart." I love it.
Oh, anybody else want to take a stab at the S?
I'll
Yeah.
go. Well, go ahead. Go ahead, Lou.
All right, sis, I appreciate it. For me, as the rebel that I am, um, I seek to leave a legacy, one that expresses my journey into gaining knowledge of self. Um, Being a person who seeks knowledge and truth, and especially towards liberating our people. Um, I think that as far as legacy, I'm not, I guess, maybe making it this big thing, right? I think when people think about legacy, it has to be this huge thing and people have to know you, I guess, you know, like the world has to know you, right? Um, I don't really see it that way. It's more so the people that I impact, the people that I meet. I'm absolutely a people person. So if I can get out and just socialize and have fun, like Big Mama said, have fun, right? Um, be able to just bring people the love and joy that I possess, which I already know that I do. That's really leaving a legacy for me. And again, just I'm looking forward to being a person, whether known on a larger scale or unknown, that has helped to bring our people to a place of sovereignty and liberation. That's the work I want to do.
All right.
That's the
All
work I'm
right. All
doing,
right.
as my
Yes.
elder would say.
Yes.
Firm,
Yes.
absolutely firm.
All right. Next person.
Well, I'll say that.
I guess I'll
Oh,
go. Yeah, you can go ahead. Go ahead.
okay.
Go ahead.
Throughout my career journey, I remember things that people said to me that really helped to empower me and motivate me to grow. And so I bring that up to say that when I think of my legacy, I'm not necessarily looking for like my name to be in lights and like all this extra stuff. I'm just thinking about the impact that I'm making with the individuals that I come into contact with throughout my life. If I can say something that's positive, if I can give them a new perspective, if I can give them some good advice, and they use whatever it is I share with them to get to their next level, that's honestly all I could ask for. So I just hope that I do what it is God has for me to do, and that's the legacy.
Next person.
Okay. The kind of legacy I want to leave is the legacy of words. A lot of people say that actions speak louder than words, but words have so much power, which is why certain group of people try their best to erase our history and rewrite our stories. So I want to leave the legacy of words, which is what I'm definitely doing with all of my books here. I had to flex a little bit,
Yeah,
just a little bit.
promo. Angry
But
promo.
yeah, I want to leave the legacy of words.
Yeah. Okay, where
I definitely
where
want
can
to
they
leave the
get your
legacy
book
of
then?
words because words have power. You can get my books on Amazon. I have seven books of poetry.
Okay.
Shades of My Lipstick, Untamed, Genovation, Genealogy, As a Black Poet Thinketh, Part 1 and Part 2, and Pumpkin Spice. And my new book coming out April 20th, A Dashiki Mentality. You can get it
All right.
all on Amazon.com.
All
Definitely.
right. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So, and that's the legacy I want to leave. A legacy of words. Us writing our own stories, telling our own stories, using our
Yes.
own words, our
Yeah.
own languages.
Right. And can
Definitely,
I just
yes.
want to interject on what she's saying. As an indie author, when I started to travel and promote my book, you are so right. I cannot tell you how many times I would show up at book signings and there would be like no Black people. And I would be like, wow, wow. So thank you. And we look forward. I'm going to look forward to reading some of your words. So you are absolutely correct. Great legacy.
All right.
Thank you.
Next person.
I guess it's me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I I agree too with the words because I just wrote, like I said, my first book, and I will be starting on my second one this summer. Mr. Coffee was my publisher, and I did have a
Mm-hmm.
great book signing. And so
All
words
right.
are very important because it. And I talked a lot about healing, so it helped people to heal by reading the book and not be afraid to, talk on what they went through. So the words for me will be one for me as well. um, I also hope that my work contributes to a narrative where Black women's are recognized for their innovation, leadership, and humanity, and where future generations feel seen, supported, and limitless. So, I hope and pray that what my kids see me do, they carries on to my grandkids and their kids, and just don't give up. So I want my legacy to as you all said too, more so the people that I impact.
Mm-hmm. All right. All right. What about you,
And
Dr.
hold
Ashley
on.
Wade?
And
Huh?
before I stop, and if anyone would like to purchase Faded Memories, you can go through me or Coffee.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Fire book, by the way, too. Fire book, by the
Mhm.
way.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. I can't wait for a book too. But go ahead, Dr.
They've been
Ashley
they've been
Wade.
blowing me up, but
I know it. I know it.
I just have to breathe and just like take on that question about the legacy piece. And I think what I want to leave more than anything is the feeling of you can do it too. I think that's what I found when I started reading about Angela Davis and Ella Baker and Ida B. Wells and those women. I think their message is you can do it too. in a world where people normally look to be copycats, to follow the trend and I want to be like that. Be yourself and be comfortable being yourself, but you can do it too. Like a lot of, again, people are waiting on somebody to elevate them. And from what I, have read about our ancestors, our legacy is you can do it too. Don't just look at Angela Davis and glorify her Angela Davis. Go do your thing, whatever that looks like. And I do appreciate, the love and adoration of people like Dr. Wade. But I'm always going to reflect that mirror right back around and encourage the next. You can do it too, whatever it is. I want to be an activist. I want to be, people have those dreams and hopes and aspirations, but do it. You can do it too. Do the thing, start the thing, create the thing, be the leader, be the driver, don't wait. If spirit deposits something in you, don't wait on nobody. Look around and see what tools are there that can help you and what people are there to support you, but don't sit on the thing because I don't know if it's the right time or whatever. Go ahead and do it. So that's the impact that and the legacy I want to leave behind. When people look at me, I'm like, oh my God, Dr. Wade, I want to reflect that mirror right back and say, you can do it too.
Dr. Wade, you know a good book could be for them?
What?
Acting on your dreams and visions. Written by Kofi Piesie, Dr. Ashley Wade, and Shanathan Palador. The modern day griots and griotis. That's definitely a good book. You know what I'm saying? Drea.
Perfect.
What about you, sis?
My apologies. My phone died on me, so I had to switch. But as far as legacy goes, I'll say that as someone who, well, the legacy is know yourself. That's the first part. That's the brand. That's what I'm trying to get out there. And the second part is, as someone, I don't have, you know what I'm saying? I have, nieces and nephews and things like that. But as far as having biological children, like it stops with me. So the importance to me is, communicating to women and young girls, like, you're not just about creating, like you're bigger than that. You know what I mean? Like even if your health or in different things, like don't allow you to create something to bring things to fruition, it doesn't mean that you're any less than. And so for me, I stand as someone who's, dealt with fibroids and a lot of reproductive issues pretty much my whole entire teenage life. And my mother, a lot of that stuff was from DNA, a lot of things that my mother passed on to me, rest her soul. But, that's for me is having those conversations out loud. It is saying, hey, being a melanated woman, a Black woman, like these are the things that we go through every time we go to the doctor, every time you read about things like, what's her name? Henrietta Lacks, which I happen to be in Baltimore, and I just happen to be going to Johns Hopkins, to being seen for a lot of those things that, Henrietta was experiencing. So I read her book and then I ended up getting seen by a specialist. And, it's such an experience walking through those halls, having those experiences in the back of my mind, but just knowing like, they didn't have access to those things, the way that we may right now. So like, it's being transparent, it's letting the words speak, letting the actions speak, and just knowing that like we are powerful beings and the ancestors have done the work. We read about it. We could read about it. We can see it. It's on this panel. We all come from an ancestor in some form. And so for me, a lot of my poetry has been to, not just highlight the men, but the women too. Those are the women that raised us. Those are the women that's in our DNA. Like, reading Ida and reading different, reading about the different women, Bessie Coleman, a lot of people like doing things for the first time. Like, I will continue to say and continue to be affirmed that there's nothing that we can't do that we haven't done already. You know what I'm saying? Especially as melanated women, and like nothing will stop us but ourselves. Nothing will stop us but our feet moving. And so I want to embody that. I've done 20 years in the military in a male-dominated, venture. And so like I know what that's like. And now I'm on the other side of that and, dealing with the just being in the societal part. and writing and speaking my truth. And so, you know, I guess long story is just basically, you know yourself, know who you are. You know, don't allow anybody to define that for you. And, you know, just if you need affirmation, you know, seek it in the people that love you, seek it in the people that see you and appreciate you for that versus seeking it from people that, you know, excuse my French, don't give a fuck about you. You know what I mean? So that's, you know, my legacy is living in your truth.
All right, all right. I definitely appreciate that from all of y'all. I'm not gonna hold y'all up. This has definitely been I ain't gonna lie, I enjoyed this show from the top to the end of the show.
This was
There's so
good,
many.
Kofi.
Yes, it's definitely was good. And you know, by me mentioning those women too, who I said inspired me or lift me, I've heard that I don't care about being famous or people not knowing me or not having the likes. Those women, when they did the work, they wasn't thinking about being a famous ancestor or their names being in light. They just did the work, right? So when you gone away from here, your legacy, if you doing the right thing, is going to live on, regardless if you want your name to be known or not. If you did something that was productive, if you did something that was meaningful, if you did something that affected positive change, you know what I'm saying? Your legacy will live on. People will continue to, you know, say your name. You know what I'm saying? And that's what ancestor veneration is all about when we talk about, and that's something that we need to imply more into our culture, back into our culture, because that's what our culture is. That is venerating our ancestors, those who came before us, right? You know what I'm saying? And continuing to honor them and continue to stand on their work and continue to do the work that they have already done, but expand the work, right? So again, this was a pleasure for me. I wish nothing but the best for you all women. I know y'all gonna continue to excel. You know, with everything that y'all doing. You can catch these sisters. All these sisters are on social media. They're on Instagram. They are on Facebook. They are on TikTok. They have their own platforms. They are also content creators. They are authors. They are business owners. They provide services. You know what I'm saying? They provide words. They provide inspiration. They provide motivation and so forth, right? So please go check these women out on their platforms. Please go purchase any material that they have out, whether it's service, material, merch. Go check out their content on their channel. If you see them, continue to encourage them, continue to uplift them, and tell them that they are doing a good job and the ancestors are smiling on these beautiful Black women. Again, I thank you all for sharing and carving out 2 hours of your time. I didn't want it to be this long. I didn't want it to cut it, but you know, I appreciate, you know, your time, because everybody's time is valuable. And again, thank you all.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Hey.
Thank you. I love all of you beautiful Black women. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, no, it's an honor to be amongst you all. So thank you so much. Yes.
Yes. Very high energy.
Yeah.
You got this, sis. That's what I want to say. You got this, sis.
Yes, indeed. Yes. So
all right,
again,
well,
y'all,
we sign out love, peace, and hair grease.
Peace and power, y'all. We out of here, y'all. We'll see y'all next time. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to the Warrior Scholar podcast. If you and appreciate those who will come back later on and listen to this in the archive. All right, we out. Peace. All right.